Good afternoon, Pot TV land. I'm Marijuana Man. Welcome to today's show of From Under the Seed Desk. This is show number 839.
Ding, 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 ding.
No, I don't know. It might be.
It could very well be, but we really have no fucking idea.
For those of you who are keeping track, 839. We're going to go with that. Welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day here in Vancouver, sometime in the middle of March. Joining me, as always, is the Alchemist, to the south of me today.
Howdy.
And in between is Kush Queen.
Hola, hola.
Thanks for joining me today. How you guys been?
Stoned.
Really?
Stoned.
Fucking
Yeah.
high, man,
Yeah,
yeah.
really stoned.
Why?
Because sometimes life gets a little hard and you need to escape. And then sometimes you just want to have fun. And then sometimes your neck is sore and you gotta smoke a joint.
And sometimes you
and then
just wake up.
sometimes you get
And you just gotta
like
smoke a fucking joint.
you know, sometimes you can't really sleep at night, so you gotta like overload.
Gotta
and then like
smoke more.
sometimes it's just sunny outside and you want to fucking smoke weed all day.
Fucking right.
Well,
That's kind of like what today was.
That's what today was.
Today was it's sunny outside. Let's smoke weed all day.
We're in no danger of not having enough marijuana here, as you might have noticed. We have the Chronic Susan loaded up again this week. We've got big giant raw papers and some embassies and maple leaf extracts. None of which sponsor the show.
Nope.
But we'll promote you.
That's right.
Eh?
That's right.
Or this is for you, Embassy. My favorite rolling papers. And we got a bunch of people here in the studio with us today. All our friends are joining us. And good to see Taylor in the house. Taylor came in, gave us a wonderful gift bag of raw stuff.
Got a bunch of raw stuff.
Yay, Taylor.
Which we'll be cooking up later. And a frisbee as well.
We're actually going to stop the show halfway through and go play frisbee.
Yeah. We're going to go play frisbee on the roof.
So you only get half an hour today.
4:36, we're out of here.
Totally out of here.
We got Alyssa's at the helm over here, flipping the switches and
Doing a mighty
twiddling her
fucking
knob.
stand-up
Vicious
job.
girl.
And Jared's in the house too. We got the ladies on the couch. And Victoria and Liz, not necessarily in that order. And J-Mac is in the house. So.
And Jody and Everett.
And Jody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the corner over here hiding.
Jody doesn't have a joint.
I was just breaking up the
How can
room
you be on
so
the
we could
creep
come
without a
back
joint,
to them.
Jody?
Yeah, I know.
Man.
Yeah. You don't want to get bored over there.
It's true.
So here we are. Want you to remember to come on down and see us here at the store anytime. A lot of these people are around here, and you can say hi in person. 307 West Hastings. Come on, see the lounges and do some shopping in the store. I'll be in the back at the Vancouver Seed Bank, or somebody will be there 7 days a week. Come on down. It 'tis the season to get your outdoor stuff together, so check us out any day of the week or online, vancouverseedbank.ca. Thanks to Rebecca for coming in and taking over the desk for me today.
She's back.
She's back.
Awesome.
Yes. Was down in Tombstone, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah. Settling a few scores, I think.
Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone or Tucson?
Tombstone and Tucson.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a blur of holidaying. I'm Marc. Where's he? He's in Istanbul. I think if you're listening today and watching from Istanbul, go look him up. You'll see him. You'll find. I think that's where he is, but what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know?
Yeah. So a bunch of people in the chat too. We can actually see that today. Sleeping Giant, Trust Nada. John Maytox and Valley Boys there. Silver Lake.
What's happening?
Nice.
Hi, everyone in the chat.
Tombstoned. That's pretty good. But
you didn't say that one.
yeah,
Jeez,
really.
Where were you?
That's a pretty easy joke, but still.
I'm getting lost in the chat. I
give
missed
him too
that. I
much
missed
credit,
that whole
right?
segment. Can we redo it?
Okay. Eventually,
I
you would have
totally
come up
missed
with
the
it.
whole segment. I was
Professor
reading chat.
Ziggy's there. Coop's in the house. Canadian Giant. Nice. Peter S. Really? Could be any Peter S. though.
Proven, man.
So yeah, it's all going on around here. Now I guess the big news out of Ontario last week was that they legislated smoking pot out of existence in their stupid little province.
Mm-hmm.
Kathleen Wynne and her little minions. You know, like, aren't you getting sick of? I guess it's not being legalized; it's just being banned, pre-banned. Like, isn't there a law against smoking marijuana already in Ontario? They needed to pass new legislation to say you can't.
It's how now they're trying to dictate how we can smoke marijuana.
You really can't do it.
Or
it's
where.
illegal to do it now. Well, I guess not for med users, but
Well, it's
still.
now you can only eat it in public.
Yeah, and pretty soon they'll be checking your lips to see if you got any chocolate icing on them and a bit of brownie in the corner of your mouth or something like that. They're a bunch of fucking, I don't know, Orwellian geeks there. I don't like Kathleen Wynne
Orwellian
at
geeks.
all.
That's awesome.
You know, I looked her up.
It's so loony.
1 year ago, Kathleen Wynne was in the news announcing how she was planning to act to change the alcohol rules in Ontario so more could be sold in supermarkets.
Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah, she said she's going to move as quickly as possible to implement changes to alcohol sales.
That's a dangerous.
As soon as she got elected, right? That was her very first thing. And 6 months. It took her 6 months, and bang, December 15th, she had it all together and was selling booze in supermarkets. More booze available to Ontarians than ever before, right? She was, she says this is the holiday present that many have been waiting for, and she was the very first in line to buy a 6-pack, right? She was also championed by a craft brewery company that said that she was really behind that industry to make their products more available, right? Now we're talking about alcohol here. We're not talking about fucking fruit, right? This is a killer substance that we're talking about here so freely, right? And how much more they wanted to get out into the public. Nobody complained either. There wasn't one naysayer going, not even Mothers Against Drunk Driving had anything to say about the fact that there's now more booze available everywhere in Ontario. Thanks to Kathleen Wynne.
That's crazy.
Like, really. She is, and she...
Bunch of doomsday clubbers.
Mm-hmm.
This the announcement was made
Racking up the
about
human talent.
Once they banned smoking. That was by the Associate Health Minister. And when I looked her up, I can't remember, her last name is Damerla. She's the Associate Health Minister. Her whole history and background, she worked as in corporate banking at the Royal Bank and the Bank of Nova Scotia. Prior to the election, she was senior policy advisor to Ontario's Minister of Economic Development and Trade. And now she's the Associate Health Minister banning smoking in Ontario. Like, really?
That's awful.
Is this good enough? Is that who you would hire to, if you went out into the regular world to hire somebody to do a job? Would you go to the banking sector for your health health minister? No. Where would you go, Al?
I would probably go.
He knows a lot of people.
I would personally. I would go like to the auto mechanics trade.
Huh. Good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because they know a little bit about what makes things work.
A lot of grease, a lot of lube.
You know, it's like, it's really the same thing. You have a heart, which is kind of like a motor. You got your electrical wiring, which is kind of like your central nervous system. You got your computer chip panel for all your microchips is kind of like your brain. The oil and the gas, it's like your, Yeah. It's it. Car is exactly like a human. I would go to the automotive industry.
They should have gone to
Fuck those corporate bankers. They don't know shit about health.
Yeah. Go to Speedy
Sitting
Muffler.
in their dark offices behind their desks all day.
If you want to find out about your health, go to Speedy Muffler.
Yep. That guy, I'll tell you.
That's what I'd do.
You're about a quart. Jesus, you're about a quart low on vitamin B.
You'll want to do something about your brakes. So, in the midst of the announcement about banning all the smoking, of course, the Canadian Cancer Society supports the tightening of the legislation and maintains that secondhand marijuana smoke may cause similar health problems as being exposed to tobacco smoke.
Wow.
Lies.
Boo!
Nope.
Seriously.
Now that's the Canadian Cancer Society coming out and saying that. Now, it's interesting too, and as I read that, I realized that they didn't say that first-hand marijuana smoke may cause similar health problems, but it was all about second-hand smoke. Right? Really? The second-hand smoke is where you're zeroing your attention in? I don't know. I think it's time to call for an investigation into the cancer industry.
No kidding.
And do an audit of the Canadian Cancer Society. I would like to see that done because I think this is a fucking scam.
I think so too.
You know, I looked up cancer today, and there's a lot. There's a lot, and there's fuck all for information about it. The only information I can find about cancer is the treatment for it. Mm-hmm. Nothing else. Canadian Cancer Society can go fuck themselves.
I watched a pretty extensive. I wish I could remember the name.
More than half their patients die, right? And they're just scooping money away from the Canadian taxpayer as fast as they can.
I tweeted at them today. It's a funny coincidence. I tweeted at them today, Cancer Society. I said the Canadian Cancer Society should know that cannabis does not cause cancer. It attacks cancer cells. And there's a news story about marijuana drastically shrinks aggressive form of brain cancer. And there's reams of evidence. I was tweeting them today. So they deserve that education.
Totally.
This just in from Jody Emery. Thanks for that. Well, and
Yes, just in live. Just kidding.
but really, the only thing that the Cancer Society has ever heard about really are good things about marijuana and cancer, not bad things. I'm not too sure. So the National Institute on Drug Abuse is the one that said that it's as bad as tobacco. Why would the Canadian Cancer Society be quoting them from a foreign country?
Enough with these specialists. What do the bankers think?
Yeah, true enough. But we should go to the CIBC.
I want to know what the bankers think.
CIBC thinks that marijuana causes tax relief.
Marijuana causes.
How do you spell tax relief? Marijuana.
I don't really want anybody.
Pirates. That's disturbing to me. Like, really. Very disturbing, the Canadian Cancer Society, that they haven't once said, since you said you're going to legalize it, why don't we start looking at this? Maybe we see a glimmer of hope here for you people who are dying in our arms. Everybody,
Not enough money in that for them.
yeah, like really, if
Wouldn't
it's
do that.
become an industry, that is frighteningly
Fucking
sad,
sad.
as far as I can tell. David Malmo Levine thought he could sneak by right in front of us and not say hello. Yeah, I guess he was right.
He's just coming to whisper sweet
Eh?
nothings into Jeremiah's ear.
Really?
It's like, hey, Jer,
No.
I really like your shoes.
Happy 420! So,
That was a long 14 minutes.
Oh,
Gimme.
Holy fuck, that was a long
So,
14
uh,
minutes. That's crazy. We put a lot of... I just noticed how much entertainment we can pack into a... We put a lot of entertainment into 14
went by
minutes.
like 13 minutes, I felt. Hey, didn't it? You've only been in...
Time dilation effects of cannabis.
That's right. The warping of time. Speaking of warping of things, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day.
What? Come on.
Yeah, turns out they're going to do it again.
So everybody in Ontario, get to your local supermarket.
Yeah, go
Get your
us-
booze.
Get your booze.
And make sure you get enough sponges and paper towels to clean up all your shit and puke. When you're done your fucking St. Patty's Day bender, clean up after yourselves.
One headline that I came across said that St. Patrick's Day is a violent, drunken disaster.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, but here's a little statistic that I ran across too. Alcohol-related crashes claimed a life every 51 minutes on St. Patrick's Day.
Every 51 minutes. In North America or in Canada? Or
That was in the
States?
United States.
So that's not even including Canada's statistics.
Yeah. They accounted for 32% of all fatalities that occurred that day.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
That puts shit into perspective. And do you guys even know what you're celebrating on St. Patrick's Day? Does anybody know? Do you know the story? Do you know the story?
No, they just want to get drunk, Al. They don't give a shit about the
It's
story.
got nothing. Yeah.
Fuck, they don't know nothing about
Has
it.
nothing.
St. Patrick.
Like, oh,
St.
reason
Patrick.
to
Here, I'm
drink?
gonna
Okay.
compress this. St. Patrick was kidnapped by
By
St. Patrick was
snakes.
like he was like
Snakes on a plane.
Snakes
like a
kidnapped
village
his
kid,
parents.
and he got kidnapped by
Snakes.
marauding Christians. Yeah. No, for real. No, for real. No. They took they slaughtered the village and stuff, and they basically stole the children, brought them to this monastery across
the
this
children.
island, and raised them and like, as you know, they brought them into the clergy. And St. Patrick had a vision, and he was laying in bed, and he had this vision, and God told him he had to go back to his homeland and cleanse it, and he had a vision that the pagans were snakes. So he went back to Ireland. At that time they had this thing called the Festival of Fire or the Festival of Light, and what it was, they had these funeral pyres, not funeral pyres, but these big oak kind of pyres on these hilltops, and the chieftain would light this huge thing. It would set ablaze, and all of the other village lords and stuff would light theirs, and that would create that in their kind of in their spiritual belief that created prosperity for the lands, and it ensured the crops and stuff. So St. Patrick, he fucking snuck in there with a whole bunch of his crew. And he went up to the top of the hill where the chieftain was doing his shit, and lit that pyre before any of and as a symbol that the pagan system fell and the Christians had taken over.
Huh. Well,
That's
no.
what you're celebrating. Now the pagans.
No, hang on.
The
hang
pagans
on
made a brew. The pagans made a brew with a hallucinogenic ground herb. And that's where the whole drinking of the...
Well, I probably should have stopped them earlier. That's not the St. Patrick I was talking about, but
Oh, the one in the Grateful Dead tune.
no, the little leprechaun
Oh no, that's
at
Saint
the
Stephen.
bar. You know. Well, so you didn't think you'd learn something today, right?
I could have been making that up though.
Yes. Well, you can all vote on that later after the show.
Or just use Google right now to find out.
Yeah. But keep
This
watching the show.
segment in no way has been sponsored by Google. Google, if you want us to do further segments, because this one was fucking dope, kick some fucking cash down. And we'll do a Google search segment every week.
Nor was it sponsored by Raw, Embassy, or Maple Leaf Extracts. And it wasn't
That's a pretty good idea, the chief of marketing sitting there. I think that's a pretty sound investment right there.
Wasn't sponsored by Embassy Papers either.
No.
No.
But
Vogue before?
They used to be.
It used to be Vogue.
Yeah.
Vogue.
Then they owed me
Roll
money.
with Vogue.
Owed me money. Changed their name.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Enough said about that. Here's a big story coming out of Dubai. All right, you know that place. How fun Dubai is. But here's the big deal that happened in Dubai this week is a well-educated man was arrested after police seized a record haul of marijuana plants. A well-educated man.
Yeah, I like how they say that. A well-educated man. Like, okay.
They don't expect that.
According to who?
This guy had 38 plants and
Whoa,
was
what
very experienced, Al, in growing and producing marijuana. This man has 2 master's degree, a good job, a good position. But he also had the experience and means to do what he was doing, the police chief said. He had all the equipment
Fired
and the
drugs in
technology. He had technology to grow marijuana out of people's sight. Can you believe that? This is how educated this man
no,
was.
see, people
Maybe.
don't realize.
He had the invincible cloak.
Okay, people don't realize how much money is in Dubai. They had full-on cloaking devices.
Yeah,
they had
apparently. Yeah, wow.
holographic imagery.
Yeah, but now I know.
It's like, look at that office tower.
But here's what
This is my grow.
here's what the police chief had to say. We arrested him on Friday while he was in Dubai in his car, in which we found some marijuana.
That's where he was growing his clones.
We found it in the ashtray, in a small bag in the passenger seat, in a paper bag in the back of the vehicle, some in the trunk.
But he was rolling dirty.
There was 2 bales on the roof,
Dirty like that, man.
and he was being followed by a couple of camels who were both smoking joints.
Invincible cloak with him.
You see, and he forgot it.
He
that
forgot
day.
he was smoking
so he
good
wasn't able
hash.
to just throw it over him in his car, right? So yeah, Fuck, that sucks.
Oh, that's
It's
scary.
unfortunate.
I
Yeah.
feel really bad for you, bro.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
he
wanna
had
get
weed
caught like
everywhere.
that in Dubai.
No.
This does not happen very often in
No,
the
because-
United Arab Emirates.
Because people are scared they're gonna get like killed
Mother's too busy fucking
for
trading
like
people,
38 plants.
trading slaves.
All right, here's a new study. The 2014 new findings from a study 2 years ago. What the fuck? 2014.
I've been fucking waiting for these results.
Here it is for you then. The health behavior in school-age
Woo!
children.
Finally!
Children. School-age children survey.
What's the results?
A cross-national research study that gives a comprehensive snapshot, not just a snapshot of it. This is a comprehensive one.
It's a snapshot of the study.
Every 4 years on the state of health for young people.
Why wouldn't they just release a PDF of the study?
Release
This is like the
the
fucking
children.
21st century. You're taking a snapshot of your study to release?
Why don't they just...
I'm not even buying. All of this information to me, it's like if they can't.
Snapchat of the study?
They should...
Snapchat.
A recent study on Snapchat.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
They should
Let's
just...
just twist this whole story
Here's that
around.
10 seconds.
they should just release the badgers.
Gone just like that.
No, here's what the survey says.
Survey says.
We're seeing nationally and internationally a lot of different risk-taking behaviors going down in young people.
Yeah.
They say it's a really interesting phenomenon. It goes beyond cannabis use. They wanted to point out right away.
Skateboarding is actually the cause.
All right,
of
it
this.
applies to some of the high-risk drinking behaviors, fighting, and physical violence. There seems to be a trend of things getting better, is what the survey suggested, that the kids aren't engaging in nearly as much risk-taking behavior.
Oh, they're not. They're like basically they're saying kids these days are becoming subservient, and yeah.
Yes, and they should.
They've been
And this is-
yeah, exactly. They've
and
been
this is a
brainwashed, and the
good thing.
programming is taking effect. Is what
Yeah.
is the report?
But they said this is not entirely clear why that's happening, but it's a provocative trend. Provocative.
Well, I got a theory. It's like every decade they train a different ideology for a generation.
A provocateur, if you will.
Well, it's, some generations are trained to be creative driven. Some generations are trained to be physically driven. Some generations are trained to be subservient, like this new one.
Yeah.
They got to create drones, they got to create leaders, and they got to create artists. And that has to go in cycles. So curriculum is and programming amongst the youth is directly responsible for that.
Yes. So, we've got the weekend for the entertainment. Apparently.
Didn't he just play
Jody pointed out something very interesting to me about the weekend. Like, this kid is fucking everywhere. He's the White House, for God's sakes. Here's a funny thing before I get into that story about the Trudeaus being at the White House. Some afternoon talk show I was watching, they were talking about how beautiful Michelle Obama was, and they were talking about her dress she was wearing, and they brought up the big photo of the Obamas with the Trudeaus when they were there visiting. And was it Wendy Williams' show or some fucking thing? I can't remember. She said she kept calling Trudeau the President of Canada and his First Lady, right? She said it about 4 times, too. Just went on and on about the President of Canada. Oh, the President of Canada.
Maybe she knows something about some documents that were signed that we don't.
Yeah, really. Justin Trudeau he's the American dream.
Yeah, well,
Right?
you got to think. Here's a guy that got elected under a lie, and under his reign, over 22,000 people have been busted for cannabis possession. Just since he's been elected. This is fucked. This is fucked. LegalizePetition.ca.
Quick.
Fast.
LegalizePetition.ca.
So anyway, we were talking about the weekend, and he was at the White House state dinner. But like Jody pointed out to me that all of his songs, and his most current one, are about taking cocaine. That's why you can't feel his face.
Well, that's why he went to the White House.
Right?
Like, you got to come for these. We're not
all
sending
his
these
old
out
songs,
online. You got to come for your new CIA written lyrics.
Yeah, like really. Come on.
Yeah. And this is exactly the key we want you to deliver it in, because we know that this key is very effective.
Yeah, like he's just too famous too fast, this kid.
Totally.
There's something up
Oh no,
there.
it's built
I
up.
don't
It's
get
built
it.
up. It's like
Really. Something. Holy cow. The machine, it's hard not to see that it's a machine now. But it's not completely clear that it is yet. But
well,
it's getting close.
It's not clear as to why.
Right? Yeah. Like there's a reason why Lady Gaga is in the fucking thick of it too.
Yeah,
like,
because she's a
really.
daughter of a Pythian knight, and Pythian knights have ruled. They started rock and roll. Decca Records was in the Pythian building,
So
run by the Pythian knights. Like all
look
of
it up.
Jerry Lee Lewis, all of the early guys were directly under the contracts of Pythian knights, who sculpt and shape society.
So we're talking about why
There's
people
nothing
are.
wrong with that. It's just something that's happening.
We talk about why people are still getting arrested for marijuana, but some criminal trial judges here in Canada are also beginning to question why people continue to be prosecuted for simple possession. The House of Commons Justice Committee heard that one magistrate is even considering whether or not to continue with a case before the court. All right, they're all starting to grumble. The cops are starting to grumble. The judges are starting to grumble. And they bring up one of the main reasons why they should stop is the exorbitant cost of it. Like, really? Where the fuck have you been for the last 50 years?
Yeah,
Worrying
where
about
the
the
fuck have you
cost
been?
of it now, here in the last hour of prohibition, right? Oh, it's really expensive, you know. But so they are talking about that fact that they're spending $4 million a year prosecuting those people for simple possession, plus all the jail, all the court costs, blah blah blah, and as Al said, 22,000 people charged with marijuana-related crimes. The Director of Public Prosecution Service of Canada,
almost 23,000, I
Brian,
think.
Brian from the Public Prosecution Service.
B-Rye is his co-worker.
B-Rye, that's right. What we've heard occasionally from prosecutors, sometimes the courts are questioning why we're proceeding. So it's going through a lot of different departments here in the country, so that's good. Good news. But here's a funny thing that it ended up with. They refer to a guy named Rankin, who I went through the thing. I could not find him.
He's got his own
introduced.
inlet.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a whole family.
And he's from he's from Victoria.
He owns a family.
Yeah, he owns some family.
Now, he said
Crazy.
he's from Victoria, and he said the government needs to move faster. He's told that in other communities in Canada, not Victoria, the laws against simple possession is being used as a tool to harass young people, sometimes people of visible minorities, Indigenous people, not in Victoria, having opened up the door to a reform proposal, not in Victoria. Right? I've heard that in some communities in Canada, not Victoria. How about Abbotsford? It's happening in Abbotsford.
Oh, for sure it's happening in Abbotsford.
You would think in Abbotsford that things would just go so beautifully because God is so involved. Like, how many places does he own there? Like, he's got a house on every corner in Abbotsford. More churches per capita than any place on the fucking planet. But not all going so good for Don Briere, the so-called Tim Hortons of pot, which I really take exception to. I think we talked about this before. Don Briere doesn't look anything like Tim Horton. He was a big strapping man, played defense for Toronto Maple Leafs. He was fucking a big tough guy. Don looks more like the Winnie the Pooh of pot. But I digress. He's really getting hassled out in Abbotsford. They have obtained an injunction against one of Don's dispensaries out there, and now Abbotsford has filed a petition seeking to keep Don out of their community altogether.
What?
Yeah, really. The city is seeking an order prohibiting Don Joseph Winnie the Pooh Briere from operating an unlawful marijuana dispensary in the city of Abbotsford, either personally or through any corporation or society of which he is a director, officer, shareholder, or member.
I just realized with that, the welcome to sign, you know how it says welcome to Abbotsford, we don't like your kind around here. I just realized what that last part means.
What that actually means.
Wow.
Right.
I can't believe you can actually do that.
Well, it's the Christian way.
I can't believe how much
what you
street
wanted.
cred Don just got for being banned from a city.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
You go, Winnie the Pooh.
Well, there's
I got your back, Don.
so. However, one of the dispensaries that
That's badass.
one of the dispensaries he has out there is being fined $800 a fucking day or something for
Wow.
staying open, right? Who the fuck are these people? Like, really? Why does the mayor of Abbotsford even close to have the right to do something like that? You can't ban somebody from your city over a substance that your fucking prime minister said was going to be legal here in about a year. Really? These people should be thrown out of office and tossed off to the side.
Yep.
Totally.
Not given any
No, they shouldn't be
opportunity-
tossed off. They should just be thrown out of office and, put to the side.
Yeah.
No pleasure for you guys.
Yeah. No severance pay either.
No,
But-
fuck your severance.
Like, really? Come on. Like, why does the mayor of Abbotsford have the power to blather about this shit?
Nah,
He's
it's
some
bullshit.
ex-real estate agent, probably, right? Selling churches. Probably selling Bibles out there in the Bible Belt. Fuck me. Like, really? Whatever happened to being a Christian? Whatever happened to fucking anything nice? Being nice about anything instead of being creaky old, hate everything, Have you ever been to Abbotsford? It's a fucking hole. Like, really, there's nothing there. Who gives a shit? Really, the best thing in Abbotsford that I've ever seen was a hotel that I stayed at out on the highway, so I didn't have to go into Abbotsford. I'll watch it
I'll
on.
stay
I'll watch it
anywhere.
on TV.
Did our camera
Like
go
really?
off? Oh.
For the people in the
I don't
Wow,
like that
tricky,
angle.
tricky.
No.
so for the people in
I'm
the
joking.
chat who are from Abbotsford, you should move back into the city. Come on. Really, the commute's killing us. Your commute's killing us. All right.
And putting you at risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never know. One day you might drive out of Abbotsford and try to drive back in, and you're not allowed there.
Yeah.
Because apparently they're doing that now.
That's right. One of these days, they're going to say no more Lutherans. Hey? No, we don't have Lutherans here. The
Yeah.
fuck? I'm not going to have that.
Can't have Lutherans around. It's crazy.
They're just going to start banning
Just gonna
stuff. If they
start,
can
like,
ban Don
nailing shit to
Briere,
church doors. Crazy fuckers.
Here's big news. Here's big news, though, for the pharmaceutical companies. Thank God, there's some good news for them. It's been yesterday was a winning day for the pharmaceuticals, especially those making drugs based on marijuana, and especially for those treating epilepsy, and especially for those called GW Pharmaceuticals.
Ooh.
They announced that it had successfully treated a form of epilepsy using its cannabis-based drug. But the Pennsylvania-based drug maker Zynerba, that scares
What a
you, eh? Just to know the
crazy
name of
name
it.
is
And then
that?
when you go Zynerba,
Where do they come from? It's got to be
Pharmaceutical.
aliens that start these fucking
Yeah.
companies.
Zynerba, and then you
We will
add,
call it Zynerba.
and then when
It
you
will
add,
kill many.
you add the word pharmaceutical to it, it scares you even more, right? You go, oh, it's not alien, it's pharmaceuticals. Ah. Now, this
That's so fucked up.
Zynerba Pharmaceutical stock rose 150% after GW made that announcement. Interestingly enough, wouldn't you say? Right?
I don't
Making
know.
a big deal, I don't know.
Do they sell GW Pharmaceuticals stuff?
There was no connection made in the story whatsoever why that affected Zynerba. Of course, there are
Maybe Zynerba is like Bayer Canada, how Bayer Canada got the contract to distribute GW Pharmaceuticals. Maybe Zynerba has the contract to distribute in the United States.
Or, on the other hand, I didn't read the rest of the article. But
Well,
that
probably isn't worth reading.
explained that, right?
It doesn't matter. It's like
Yeah.
let's just make it up.
Zynerba. So
But that name is
Also
real.
only read the title anyways.
let's all go to Zynerba. Let's all go to Zynerba. That was a big day for the pharmaceutical. And they never mentioned in the whole fucking article, I might add, that it helped anybody. That anybody was optimistic and happy that the help was coming for the form of epilepsy. They didn't. There's a lot of forms of epilepsy. I'm not too sure which one or if it applies to humans. They didn't mention that, but they're just. It's nuts out there in the marijuana world. Completely crazy. Couldn't be crazier for our good friend Austin Russell, though. Austin Russell's in a lot of trouble.
I don't know Austin Russell.
Sure you do.
Nope.
Huh? 33-year-old from Vegas? Come on. Austin Russell?
I always called him Russell. I thought he was from Austin.
Well, I always,
What?
Yeah.
His name is
Austin.
Austin. He's from Vegas.
Yeah.
Now that's making more sense. He was always like gambling hookers, limos, gambling hookers,
my
limos,
God.
gambling hookers, limos on this
That's right.
fucking thing.
Well, that's pretty much what's been going on. But we also like to call him Chumlee from Pawn Stars.
oh yeah.
Yeah, well, Chumlee's in a peck of trouble.
He's in some
Yeah.
some shit.
He's in some big trouble. He was taken into custody last week. Officers served a search warrant on an unrelated matter, sexual assault investigation, as it turns out. And
Chumlee.
Wait a minute.
they found methamphetamine, marijuana, and at least one gun at his Las Vegas home.
Well,
No.
you know he wasn't doing the methamphetamine.
He was being held pending an initial court appearance. He was being
Oh, did he? Oh, maybe he was doing meth.
he He was being held pending a court appearance on 19 drug possession charges.
Wow.
And his bail was
That's
set
how
at
Chumlee got all those cars.
his bail was set at $62,000. His bail was set at $62,000.
Which he paid in
Chumlee
cash.
said he could only offer the judge half that. He still needs to make a profit, you know. Eh? So Chumlee's Las Vegas home was loaded with a lot
Is that
more.
your final offer, Judge?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a friend down here to help me with that. I
you
don't know
willing-
a lot about
Are you willing
bail.
to?
Right?
I don't know. Are you willing to come down on that a little bit? Because that's it's kind of unreasonable.
No.
I mean, we still have to put in the time and.
The next day, the actual what they found came out in the news. There was a giant, a gallon Ziploc bag with 116 grams of marijuana. 2 clear jars of marijuana, one with 8 grams, one with 2.8 grams.
That's nothing.
Another bag, Al, can you believe this? There's even another bag with 4.4 grams of marijuana.
But aren't they
Really?
about to open the door wide in Las Vegas
is
with
marijuana
cannabis?
even
Like
relevant?
the
There
first
were,
dispensaries
guns and
opening
meth.
up. There's all kinds
They're,
of crazy shit popping off in Vegas.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're poor.
They
Yeah,
also
like,
found
that's-
Bag in a
How much
4-gram
meth did he
jar.
have?
they only had 7 caps of meth,
Oh, that's just enough to go dancing.
17 Xanax bars.
That's enough to go back to sleep after you've done your
That's
7
right.
caps of meth.
No,
Like,
it's just a
the-
party.
it's all personal.
It's all
Chumlee
personal.
was just fucking partying. It's his Vegas home. What do you think he's gonna have there? Well, he's
12
probably ice cream.
firearms.
Ice cream.
He'd have 12 firearms.
12
Yeah.
firearms.
Only
Yeah, that's their thing, though, right? It's like
Only
we
4 of
collect
them
rigs, they
registered
collect
to him.
guns. It's
That's
like,
right.
Okay.
Some of them collect both.
So
It's crazy.
he's in a bit of trouble. We'll have to see.
I
him.
don't know. I think he's
A
gonna
bit.
buy his way out.
Oh yeah, he'll get off.
He'll
that.
be all
It's
right.
all personal.
It's only 7
Right.
caps of meth.
17.
And it's probably ecstasy, but because ecstasy is meth, it just tested positive for methamphetamine.
I think that's like his week of diet pills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be how he's losing the weight.
So we wish Chumlee all the best.
He ordered them
At
from
least
Korea.
I do, anyway.
Those Korean diet pills.
I say so what?
Crazy. You can only buy them in Mexico.
Yeah, that's going on. And this is in Vegas. In Vegas, somebody cares that that's going on? I thought what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not in Chumlee's case.
Nope.
You want to tell the
Apparently.
fucking world what happened in Vegas? Really going to tell on everybody I know what happened in Vegas from now on? Right? Like, what are these people doing in Vegas that they're not telling us about? What hideous things
You know,
can I
maybe
come up
there's
with?
like a Pawn Stars got a huge offer, and they're like, yeah, you just got to kick the dead weight. So they set Chumlee up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet they set him up for
That just in on the
for
rumor mill.
ratings or to pay somebody back. Oh, it's ugly out there in the pawn world. So here's
Yeah.
another
Very
disturbing story about the Denver police. They're raiding illegal marijuana grow sites across the city.
Uh-oh.
They're cracking down on marijuana grows, I guess, that exceed anybody's personal limit or something. Like, really? Everybody can grow 6 plants. Every adult can grow 6
That's
plants.
fucked up.
Right? And not more than 12 per household, no matter how many people live there. Even if you cram 50 people in there, they're not going to let you grow more than 12 plants. So don't.
Well, there's
Don't cram
variances that
50
you can
people
apply
in.
for with that, though.
I imagine there is a variance.
Yeah, I think you're allowed 12 per household, and then you can apply to grow for up to 5 people for personal, and then
Wow.
you can apply to grow for medical supply, and then you can apply to grow for dispensary supply or recreational supply.
Well,
So a person plays their cards right, they can put a lot of fucking weed in one place.
federal drug agents raided multiple illegal marijuana grows on Tuesday morning as part of a 2-year investigation. 2 years in Denver. Oh, how big is Denver? Come on. No one has been arrested, and police did not face resistance at any locations. And they would not say how many sites were raided or the amount of marijuana confiscated. The investigation is ongoing.
So it was a robbery.
Right? It's likely to go on for several more months. It's that complicated, said stupid cop number 1.
So he's telling everybody that's associated with this group how much longer they're going to be investigated for.
This is yeah. And it's
They
going to
got
cost
robbed.
a lot, right?
Those guys got robbed. That wasn't a bust.
Like, really, what a unsatisfying story that is, right? How they word it and do it, and really? Is this what's going to happen now? Is that the cops are just going to stay in business, raiding as many people as they can, growing a little bit of weed for themselves? Holy cow. Right? Well, Kathleen Wynne champions the craft brewery in Toronto so they can get more product out.
Yeah, you got to put the whiskey. Just put the whiskey right next to the radishes.
Where did the craft brewer start? As a home beer op that he had in his basement, right?
Well, I thought craft was just like like the leading brand, like mass produced.
Craft brewery,
like craft macaroni and cheese, craft, craft
like
singles,
all
of that.
Singles.
The KD of beer.
Yeah.
Well,
We got the cheesy hops.
But I tend to be a little tired of the hypocrisy here when it comes to the alcohol in our society, and how even well-educated people in Dubai are growing weed now. Like, it's out of control. We've won. If educated people in Dubai are doing it, we've won. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You had 2 master's degree, Al. I did not need to grow the marijuana.
Just saying, I think that's actually kind of average for Dubai, though.
Maybe he just wanted to.
I think that's like just an
educated.
averagely educated man in Dubai.
Like, fuck's sake.
That's just an averagely educated man in Dubai. They're only masters. It's not like he had a doctorate.
Yeah.
We're in a land of very amazing people over there.
But
Billionaires.
He's going,
Well-educated
He's
people.
going to jail. That's what's going to happen now. But
No, that's really sad, actually. Like, because it was only 38 plants, but in their culture, to them, that's like you were like watering the seeds of the demons that were gonna like infect their culture.
Yeah.
That's to them. That's how they're gonna take it, which is sad.
yes. Well, that's all I got.
I got more, but I'm not.
Anybody?
I'm being selfish
Got
today.
anything?
No, I'm being a little selfish.
I need 6 full minutes.
I'm holding a little back.
Where's? Come tell us about that. Oh, really? Jody Emery.
6 months. It took 6
What?
months to
You-
get this meeting.
You hung out with her for 6 months? Why'd you?
Yeah,
Sit
that's
on
where I
top of my
was.
chair if
Don't
you
you
need
know? We'll like
You
do
and Hetty
half-ass
Fry
on the chairs.
Go
There we go. Right
camping
on.
and stuff.
Yeah, I've been
Ask
trying to
Jake on
meet
his
with Hetty Fry since I asked in October. She's my member of parliament, and they would schedule it, and then they'd reschedule, and they kept rescheduling every time the media mentioned that I was going to meet her. So I think it like made them nervous, but they finally relented, and I went, and she was very busy. So I said I wouldn't say it, but she was half an hour late. So that's okay though. I had nothing but time, sitting there all happily. So when I walked in, the first guy goes, "Oh, hi, Jody. Nice to meet you." I'm like, "Hello." And then the other guy comes in and goes, "Oh, it's Jody Emery. I see you on television." And I'm like, "Oh, hi." So I'm like just trying to be decent because some of them seem scared of me. Apparently, I'm kind of scary to the liberals sometimes. I don't know. Anyway,
You make
so
them nervous,
Yeah, I
not
guess I make
scared.
them nervous. I know. How can you be nervous around this one?
Jody rolls up in
Aren't I intimidating?
Leathers.
Like Rottweilers and sidebars.
Got chains and spikes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, maybe she was scared.
So she sat down, and I didn't want to take much time. That's the point. You have to remember these are busy people, and so I had three things. One was my letter that I've posted online, the one about the moratorium, just saying please ask the government to stop arresting Canadians. It's hurting them in all these different ways. And then I presented a policy I submitted to the Liberal Party to have at their convention in Victoria. And I actually got chosen to be a delegate for the Liberal Party, Vancouver Centre, to go to the convention, but I couldn't really afford the time and the money to go because I had to be here. But I still submitted a policy about legalization for job creation. And I got to talk to her. I said, with the oil market and the dollar, and that, is a red flag for politicians. She looks right at me, and I say, there's job creation potential. And I said that the whole hemp industry could be combating climate change. And I told her about hempcrete. And she said, my son Pete Fry, back in 1993, printed my materials on hemp paper. And her assistant there taking notes said, and I went and saw hemp fields in the valley in the 90s. So we're getting on a good page here. And I was talking about how it's green and innovative that we could use hempcrete in our architecture and have an agriculture. And she understands all the other jobs. And I talked about the tourism and the medical and all this. And it made it very quick. And then the last document I gave to her was the petition. That's at legalizepetition.ca. It's an official petition sponsored by by Elizabeth May. And she said, oh, this looks good. And I reminded her about the fact that we need to stop arresting people, the moratorium. And so I mentioned that I've been to the Liberal Senate on legalization and spoke to Bill Blair, because she said, do you know Bill Blair? I said, yes. He actually spoke to me and said he'd like to speak with me further. She said, oh, good. She goes, do you know Jody Wilson-Raybould, the Justice Minister? And I said, I met her too during the campaign. I did meet Jody Wilson.
With her for an afternoon.
But so she was taking, underlining parts of my things, and I got all these really interesting points in about jobs, the industry, green, climate change, money, all these things.
Oh, that's
and
fabulous.
she said to me, I meet with Jody Wilson. They were on committees together. I'll talk to her about this, and I'll tell Bill Blair about it. She handed her notes to the assistant and said, send this off to Stephanie right away. And so they might go talk about what I said. And it takes sitting down with your member of parliament, because they kind of have to do something. And I made it short. I kid you not, that was in 7 minutes to 10 minutes max. And it was short and succinct, and I'm kind of used to talking.
Well,
so.
You're the person for that.
Yeah, and I
for
had
sure.
these talking points, and it was like, bam, 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 here's how you present it. And she seemed impressed, and I was excited about that. Yes.
Right. Do you know so-and-so? Yes.
Yes.
Do you know them? Yes.
She was impressed that Bill
yes.
Blair actually came up and introduced himself to me. She goes, oh, wow. And so I'm like, so this points out. Anyway, so I'm doing what I'm doing, so
Cool.
I tweeted
Well,
that.
that's
so
really
there you
good.
go.
Thanks for doing that.
Oh, and I'll be in Toronto thanks to Canawide. They're flying me out for their Extract Zen party, and that's why I've been tweeting about cancer and cannabis, because it's a fundraiser for research into that, and I think more people need to know about it. So they're very generous to get me out there, and I'll be talking about that to the people in
When
attendance.
is that?
This Friday, Extract Zen party. You look it up on Canawide. And I'll also be going to Goodweeds. And it will be on Pot TV. We'll be having the Canawide event on Pot TV. But I'll be going to Goodweeds as well, because that's our friends. They're not allowed to go to their business, Goodweeds. It's a vapor lounge, and they need support. And all of the lounges in Toronto and Ontario are being threatened with closure because of the anti-smoking bylaw from Kathleen Wynne. Yeah, booze, not bud. She's not cool. So they have to band together out there in Ontario for their cannabis businesses, which are at risk. And I'll show my support out there. So yeah,
Nice.
okay.
Well, good
There's
for
a
you.
little update. Was that 6
And Marc,
minutes?
he's where is he?
Marc just landed in Istanbul, Turkey tonight. Today. He's hanging out with some people. I don't know who he's hanging out with, but apparently
fun
he
is
says it's
that?
really pretty. And yeah, he's also booked for Thailand for 420. They're making a big deal of it. They're bringing him out for 420 in Thailand, spreading it to some of the farthest
Holy
reaches of
cow.
the world. He's got a few things. So you can follow him on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and that's exciting. We miss him for sure, but this is really important. He's meeting a lot of important people, and he's also trying to get all these Europeans to quit the tobacco and just go smoke pure, smoke just cannabis, grow more cannabis, so they can stop getting addicted to tobacco. They smoke it everywhere, and we need to heal people with the medicine. So there you go. Yeah, follow Marc on there. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, Jody. Thanks
Oh,
for the
thanks,
chat.
Jody. Nice to see you.
That was good.
All right. Well, I
got
need a
6 minutes?
smoke now. which
Pretty
you
close,
mentioned.
pretty close, man. Pretty close.
5 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah.
Well,
I think we should start a petition that Kathleen Wynne
yes.
changes her last name to Lose because it rhymes with booze.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying.
Yeah, I got a feeling
Let's get that lady out of her job and into a different job. Not just like, we don't want to take away her livelihood. Let's just get her into a different job where she can't make decisions like this.
something at
Important decisions.
Yeah.
something at Rona or something like that. Be good. Right, a greeter at Rona.
Or she could be like,
I was
like
thinking
a
Red
cashier
Lobster.
at
but-
Thrifty's.
Maybe
There
she
you go.
coordinate the tailgate parties where all the people drink booze at their vehicles.
I think we
Lush
should
queen over here.
see if she would like to have a job for a month as a cocktail waitress at one of the most booming A circuit bars in Toronto, and see if she really fucking backs liquor after that.
Worked there myself back in the early 90s.
I mean, I like to drink. I don't come down on people for drinking, but when we have people in positions of power that are abusing these positions of power to like, make some money on the side from alcohol lobbyists and shit, it's fucking wrong. So
that's it.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for tuning in today. Hope you had fun. I know I did, or I'm pretty sure I did. I'll find out tomorrow when I watch the show.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Huh?
Hey, fun.
Glad everybody could join us today to help celebrate.
J-Mac is still high.
Yeah. Help us celebrate the last day before St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
destruction begins. There's pre-St. Patrick's Day stuff going on.
Well, this is
today.
actually known as the Eve of Sanity,
Yes. So,
because
Look
tomorrow
out.
insanity follows.
insanity. So, thanks to everybody for joining us here in the studio as well, and Jeremiah and Alyssa for helping out with all the gear and such. Good to see you, Al.
Good to see you, Greg.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me. I thought we were having like barbecued steak today. That's really why I came. But apparently it was just like,
Yeah,
he's just like, hey,
it was
bro, you
gonna
want to
be
come
a-
down for some steak
Steak.
tomorrow? I was like, really, steak? It's like, yeah, maybe we could do a show or something. I was like, fuck, I'm coming for steak.
steak show.
Whatever, let's do it.
Huh. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
But whatever, that's cool. No, that's all right.
Forgot I said that.
That's all right.
You can't do that to me.
And Kush Queen, thank you too for gracing us with your presence again.
I love being here.
It's
It's always good to have you.
our pleasure. So, yeah,
It
and
brightens up
everybody
the day.
who's in the chat here, lots of people today. Hope
J
you're
Mac's
having
still
fun up
high.
there too, and everybody who's going to watch the show on YouTube.
J Mac's high because he's high. He's high
Yeah.
because he took 2 full syringes of 900 milligrams of decarb THC in each syringe. He powered them both back last night at Jam.
Yeah.
At the end of Jam. Yeah. So guaranteed J Mac's still
So
high.
it was fairly responsible.
I'm surprised you're awake.
All right.
That's what you get clapping right there. Applause
All right,
for J
let's hit
Mac.
the
That was
switch
fucking
here.
awesome.
Thanks for tuning in. Check out all the shows on Pod TV. We got Jeremiah, or I guess Expert Joints comes up tomorrow.
Expert joints.
Must be 4 o'clock, 3:50, something like that.
So has he taught anybody how to roll a joint yet?
Jody schooled him. And tune in to Jeremiah's show on Friday afternoons, 4:20. 4 o'clock would be close enough.
Jarawana.
And you got Mick and Carly on Mondays,
What?
right?
Huh? What? I wasn't paying attention.
That's the way the whole show's been. So thanks a lot for not paying attention, and we'll see you guys next week. And until then, I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.